Um, Hi, my name is Uttera Singh, and I'm the writer-director of Pinch.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so my first question, Pinch is your feature directorial debut, but you have
Yes.
worked in the industry for more than 10 years. And I wanted to ask you, can you tell me how your filmmaking journey, especially directing a few short films, shaped your approach to this project?
That's such a good question. I think it's so important to go make something, and then you learn with every project that you make what not to do in the next one, and how to approach. Because every new project you start, I think you're basically starting fresh. You're going in, oh, I don't know anything, but I have these things that I know that I should not be doing. So I learned that a lot from making those short films and said, okay, this is definitely not what I'm going to do. So uh,
Okay.
it really helped me with my feature film.
Okay, so what was the mistake you tried to avoid while making Pinch from your previous experiences?
I think we rehearsed before we went to set. So I really wanted
Okay.
to rehearse with my actors before I got a chance, in which I should have done with my other shorts, but some of them I did, some of
Hmm.
them I didn't, and you can tell the difference.
Okay, I see. I see.
Or
Uh,
I can.
mhm. Um, so in this project, what was the most difficult moment you remember, or perhaps most memorable?
Well, the most memorable is that you know, I think the whole experience of being able to shoot in my hometown has been a big,
Hmm.
big blessing and something that has been memorable for me. And the biggest struggle was also shooting in my hometown
Why is that?
because it's something where like I think well, it's not a film city, so you have to bring everything, outsource and which is good and bad. So it
Hmm.
worked in our favor and also worked against us. So I think the duality of being happy that we got to film in my hometown and also how hard it was is
Okay,
the
I
one
see.
thing that
How long you were away from your hometown before shooting movie? Because you stay in US, or yes?
yes,
So
yes.
how much how did it change after the time you were away?
Oh, completely changed.
Hmm.
Completely changed. So um, I grew up in a smaller city where we knew the movie theater, you ran into people you knew. There was one big mall that everybody went to. Now
Hmm.
there's a mall in every corner, and there's so many movie theaters, which is good, but it's become a very big university town, a university
Ah,
city.
okay,
So it's unrecognizable. It's huge. It's a big city now.
I see. Mm,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because you play the main character in your movie, and I wanted to ask why did you decide to do that, and why how the whole casting process looked like,
Well, I'm an actor, so I decided to write
of
this
course.
for myself. That was a decision, and um, and the casting process was very much, you know, it took time. I was not ready to settle and just get anybody to even play the other characters because it was very important for me to make the world believable and have an opportunity to work with really good actors, which we got very lucky to. Every single person we got a chance to work in the cast. They're all professionally trained, incredible actors to work with. And then we
Hmm.
did some local casting um, for the other characters, and everybody was lovely to work with and really good at what they do.
Okay, I see. In addition to starring in the film, you're also the writer, director, and producer. And how did taking on so many roles uh, affect the creative process?
It was an absolute nightmare. It's a lot, you know. So I think each job is such a big. It's such a big feat, and you know everybody who does that individually. It's I have so much respect for. It just was something that just you know ha happened this way because I wanted to go make this movie, and I just told
Hmm.
myself nothing can stop me, and I have to find a way to tell this story. So it just worked out this way. For the next one, I'll get producers to help me.
Okay, okay. Um, well, you are no stranger to multitasking, as you're also an adjunct professor. Mm,
Yes.
uh, that's why it seems to me that you have a deep love for film as a craft. Can you tell me how it started and how your perspective on cinema evolved throughout the years?
You know, it's so interesting. I've been thinking a lot about because somebody asked me a question this, last week. They said, when did you know?
Hmm.
And I was never a film nerd. I was more of a storyteller. Like I was never like, oh, let me tell you who the director is. Let me tell you what movie
Hmm.
this is. It was more of that I was a film lover who just liked going to the movies and watching movies and then telling everybody the story about what happened in the movie
Okay,
and
I see.
tell the spoilers of like what the story is. I was that kid, that annoying kid who was like, let me tell you what happens and let me give you every single detail of what happens in the movie. And I was very, obviously a fan of uh, Indian cinema, and I grew up with that. Um, and then later in college was exposed to a lot of Western cinema, Asian cinema, and fell in love with Kurosawa's work, Wong Kar-wai's work, and so it was late in life that I learned the film nerdy stuff and was like, oh, I actually like this.
Mm.
I want to learn about Ramsey's work and how incredible she is. So it was a journey for me. I'm still on that journey, and I'm learning. I'm still learning about films and filmmakers and their craft. So and with when I'm teaching to not teaching is like I know no I'm my students teach me so much,
Hmm.
and I'm learning, and they keep the love alive. It's
Yes.
because they're not jaded yet. They're not jaded by the industry, and they're not
Ah.
thinking of it as like this big, oh God, what will happen to film. They're like, we want to make movies, and it's really inspiring.
Uh, okay, so despite your experience from the industry, you don't seem jaded at all as well, to me at least.
It's hard.
So,
And I'm telling you, it's because of my students. They have
ah,
refreshed me to not be jaded. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I see new fresh perspectives on the cinema.
Yes.
Uh, okay, so you are a storyteller, and I've read in your interview for News India Times that you mentioned a childhood memory about your cousin that used to pinch people in public.
Yeah.
And I wanted
Yes.
to ask you if there are any other personal stories or memories from your childhood you would like to present on the big screen in the future.
My friends and often people tell me that my life is so it's so dramatic and absurd. Uh, I just get myself into these positions, not voluntarily, it
Hmm.
just happens. Um, that I have too many stories for a lifetime. So I am very grateful for that, not grateful for the absurdity I get into and the problems I get myself into. But the other day I told my dad's like, why does this happen to you? And I said, you know what? I have a new perspective to this. Thank you that it happens to me. So now I can tell a story about it, and I can tell somebody what happened to me. And even if it's traumatic, I will find a spin on it because then I have a story to tell about it. So I'm
Hmm.
grateful for the weird life experiences. Keep them
Okay.
coming.
Okay, okay, I see. So nothing in particular you would like
I
to.
don't even pick. I don't know which one to pick. I think it's
Okay.
now become more often. I like to use a little bit here and there and then put it in a
Hmm.
fictionalized way. It's not
Okay.
completely personal. Nobody would believe that would be a thing.
Okay, I see. Um, for me, and for many other, based on the reviews I've read, the film is deeply um, rooted in feminism. I wanted to ask you, how would you describe feminism in India today, and how it's changing in recent years? And what's your perspective uh, as a person who lives in other country? You can um, take a look at both those countries.
I was looking for a really good analogy, but I don't have it. But I think I'm just going to try to tell you my take on. I'm very lucky. I'm
Hmm.
extremely lucky that I grew up with a mother who is this badass feminist, but not according to the West of like very like she started a school, she hired a lot of women and employed a lot of people and changed so many lives. So I saw this incredible, powerful woman from you know as my
Hmm.
mother, and so being in my power was never a problem because I grew up with that
Hmm.
and saw her support a community of women and men. And to me, that was my firsthand experience with feminism. But it was never, it didn't need the validation from men or women. It just was. And I think that's it, is like you see people as equal and you are just the living, breathing example of change.
Hmm.
And she never called herself like we didn't talk about feminism. It was just who
Yeah.
she was. And so it was very much like, oh, she is in action. And
Hmm.
what she is walking the walk. And for me, that is like whatever we can do on a daily basis um, is change. And my grandmother, the best she could make was send my mother to school, you know, when and send my mother to college when women were not going to college. So that changed. So I think, there's so many women before us who've come and paved the way for feminism. So it's not what's happening right now. It's generations of women who have done
Hmm.
the work and we're getting to benefit from their sacrifices and from their work.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
we're in a good
see.
position. And
Hmm.
it's, I mean, of course, nothing is perfect in the world right now.
Yeah.
Whoa, is it? But nothing is, and we're all trying to just get by and um, figure out what is being a woman and what is feminism right now. But I think for me is that we are whatever you can do every single day on your own level is change.
Mm. Yeah, I see.
That was not the definition of feminism that you asked
N-
for, but I don't know
no,
how
no.
to describe.
Yeah, the interview is more about you than about my questions. Uh,
I love your
so
question.
thank you. Unfortunately, that would be my last one. I
Yay!
mm, so yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking your time
Thank
for the interview. Uh,
you. Guys, I feel like
yeah.
I did not give you a good answer for the feminism definition you asked for.
Uh, there are no
But
bad or good answers, I think.
yeah, yeah.
It's
But
about
I
your
do
perspective.
but I do appreciate you and thank you for interviewing me and talking about our film.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Uh, okay. Have a good rest of the festival, the last day.
Thank
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you.